it's update time. So it's been 9 weeks since I ended the 250K challenge with a goal of gaining lean mass, gaining weight, gaining muscle, trying to keep the fat off as much as possible. Been a fun time experimenting, going through all of those different kind of ups and downs and figuring out how to get my nutrition on check. So that's been a lot of fun. If you do notice, I might be a little red on the top of my head. If you have a buzz cut and you put sunscreen all over, wear a hat. Never had this hair short like this before, so I got a little burnt yesterday. But had a good time in the gym this morning. I wanted to do a check-in, basically being able to go over the numbers first, then do some comparison photos afterwards, and then talk about kind of what I'm going to try to do next to tweak things for the next 5 weeks or so and see what happens with a new tweak. So let's get started. All right, let's talk numbers. So one of the things that I've discovered over the past 9 weeks is trying to gain muscle is a much slower and methodical process than losing weight. And it's something that I've had to reset my expectations a few times over, learning more as I go, understanding what I really actually have to do for calories to actually start seeing a gain. So it was an interesting trial and error process of ups and downs and losing weight and gaining weight and figuring out kind of what works best for my body, which is why I wanted to give it a good full 2 months. So 4.5 weeks per month, 9 weeks seemed like a pretty good trial run to go through. Same with the new workout regime that I was on to be able to make it hopefully get me the results that I wanted. So if we take a look at the numbers, when I got started, my body weight was 146.8. That was at 12.9% body fat, which I kind of liked the way that I looked at that body fat percentage. And at that point, I talked in one of my previous videos about the FFMI, so the Fat-Free Mass Index. And this is the index that you're on that kind of says where your maximum genetic potential is. If you're massively genetically gifted naturally, you can maybe attain a 25, but the average steroid user's at a 24.5 on that index, and a really good bodybuilding physique is between that 21 and 23 range for a natural bodybuilder trying to gain muscle. So if we take a look at my progress across the 9 weeks, I'm now at 152.9. That was the average at the end of Saturday, yesterday. And I'm now at a 14.2% body fat, but my FFMI has actually gone up so that I'm at a 21 now. So in general, I look bigger. I have, not a big jump, but from an index perspective, I'm heading in the right direction. Obviously, if this weight was the same and that percentage was down at the 12, that index would have climbed quite a bit for me. But that wasn't the goal. The goal was to try to increase overall size and mass, which is good. So I had an overall gain of just over 6 pounds. So the good and the bad comes with that 6 pounds. And that is, again, I do my averages. My weight's not what I weighed myself on Saturday to the first weight. Those weights are actually averages across the week to give me a better idea. Because just this last week, my weight would fluctuate up and down 5 pounds a day. And so it was a strange roller coaster this last week. So if we look at the weight gain, 6 pounds of weight gain. When I looked at it, I was doing my calculation per week, I was averaging about 0.68 or 0.7 pounds a week of body weight gain. And that comes out to, it was just about 3 pounds per month, which is just on the high end of what my target was. So general goals out there for doing a lean bulk, so trying to grow and get bigger and not putting on a ton of fat, is that essentially you're trying to gain 1.5 to 2% of your body weight a month. And that should give you a steady progressive growth without really making your body fat percentage jump up.
So overall, just shy of a 2-pound muscle gain. And this was calculated based off of my scales that measure my actual body fat percentage, but they also measure my muscle mass percentage as well. So I've been keeping track of that. So it's a simple calculation to calculate that off of your body weight. And so my overall muscle gain across the 9 weeks was 1.7 pounds, so 2 pounds. So about a pound of muscle a month, which is actually really quite good when you talk to other different natural bodybuilders out there and weightlifters, is that is a nice growth pattern to be able to have. So while I don't necessarily see massive physical changes in my body, it's a slow, methodical growth process that you're trying to do to pack on muscle. So happy with the results on numbers. Obviously, we're looking for more dramatic results when we look at ourselves in the mirror every day. But it's attainable, it's on plan, it's on track. My calories right at the 2,400 calories a day with the protein and carbohydrate levels set up for my my workout seem to be on point. No cardio going on, giving myself a day of rest between things, but picking up the intensity. So the other thing that shows, so the numbers here from a weight gain and what we're seeing from a muscle gain is also seen through the progressive overload that I've been able to do with the amount of weight lifted. So I keep track of, you know, my reps, my sets, and the weights that I'm doing on those. And so every now and again, I'll try to up one of the different weights on there. And so probably the most areas of growth for me being able to put more weight on the bar has been deadlifts and squats. And so that's been helping a fair bit in this number. But where I am now compared to where I was 9 weeks ago, I am lifting just over 12,000 more pounds a week. So my body is being stressed by 12,000 pounds more a week of lifting that's going on. Same exercises, same intensity, same amount of time in the gym, just have been increasing the weights across of my exercises, all my exercises, and lifting about 12,000 pounds more. So that has been a nice growth in strength. I've seen it in my lifts. It's been fantastic. I actually watched a girl beside me today. She was awesome. She worked her way up to a 1 rep max of 305 pounds on the deadlift. She was serious. My deadlift's not there yet. I think I'm 265 for doing reps of 10 and a couple sets at 10 there. So that's the numbers. That's where things came in. I think what I want to do over the next 5 weeks is I want to change up my workout program. Same exercises, but instead of doing the 20, 10, 10, 15 routine that I've been doing to be able to gain strength across this, I'm going to flip it over to a traditional mass building rep and set routine. So that's 3 sets at 8 to 10 reps max. If you can push out 10, you're doing well, but it's 3 sets of heavy weights. You know, obviously you got to be well warmed up to hit it. My joints and everything seem to be back on track, so I think my body's able to tackle that for a 5-week process. We'll see. See how injuries go along with that type of a scheme, but on track for being able to do that. So next we're going to do is we're going to actually take a look at the photos to see, did it make a visual difference across my body. All right, picture time. So we're going to start off with the front view here. Able to see some visual differences in my body. One thing that I have noticed is that my symmetry on my chest is just slightly starting to improve a little bit. So hopefully that continues along that trend. It's very difficult to see, but I think it's starting to change a little bit for me. The other thing that I've been starting to notice is that on my shoulder caps, I'm starting to get more of a ball on my shoulder caps, so more of a rounded appearance on the outside, especially on my right shoulder. My arms are starting to get a little bit thicker as well. Obviously, since I put on a little bit more body fat, my waist has expanded a little bit as well, and my abs continue to try to hide underneath that new body fat. For me, I tend to carry my body fat literally right over top of my belly button. And that's kind of the toughest part for me to be able to get off my body. So starting to see a little bit of the symmetry start to come around, and my shoulders are starting to see some improvement as well across my workout scheme. Next one we want to take a look at was kind of a side shot, and taking a look at, again, here we can see that my shoulder and arms are starting to get slightly bigger. So my shoulder's a little bit wider across the outer edge of my shoulder, triceps a little bit bigger, biceps, and overall kind of width around my upper arm is starting to grow a little bit more. So that's good. I'm happy with that. You can even see in my chest, on the left there, it's starting to get a little bit fuller and thicker. So again, there's not a lot of weight gain between the two, right? We're talking about a 1.7 pounds of muscle increase, so we're going to see just slight increases across my body. Last one is taking a look at my back. For whatever reason, my back seems to want to respond to training. So we can see here I'm thicker across the bottom of my back, the mid my back, and the top of my back across my lats. My back seems to just like to grow for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it really seems to respond well to training. I'm thinking probably the lower back is really starting to respond to some of the deadlifts and squatting that I've been doing. Might be helping a little bit back there just from carrying the weight from my deadlifts. And the weight's been increasing there. I've been increasing the weight on my lat pull downs. So I'm almost up to my body weight on lat pull downs now, just keeping it slightly below just so I can keep the right form that's in there. But yeah, it's weird seeing my back continuing to expand. So that's really cool. And I even took a look at this photo and said, no, one photo is just bigger than the other. So I took a little, black box ruling thing to go across the base of my neck, and my neck is the same width in both of the photos. So my back just wants to grow. So that's pretty cool.
So that's the end of the progress update. 9 weeks. Made good progress. Just as always, you don't get to see physically the massive changes that you do when you're losing weight and trimming down, which is really encouraging. So this is more of a slow, methodical growth. Again, I'm going to change up my training a little bit for 5 weeks and see if it sparks my body to make changes again. Usually throwing in that variety really helps. Again, it's going to be a place that I can try to do some more progressive overload on the weight and really deal with some muscle confusion, get my body stiff and sore again of doing different types of things. Kind of gotten used to the routine now over the last 9 weeks. Even though that I've been adding weight, it's kind of settling in on that routine. So again, that's the progress update. I'm looking forward to tonight, heading out to watch Wonder Woman. Should be fun. And we'll check in again soon.